I contracted cancer right before my 38th birthday and I beat it. And on this video, I want to share with you what that process was like. All from contracting it to learning how it even got contracted to then overcoming it and what I learned throughout the process. Because I made a post on Instagram that I'll explain here in a second. But there was a vast response and it was quite a lot. And I want to explain what I really learned through this process and what it taught me about entrepreneurship, and especially in this digital age, in this tech and AI age, and how you can utilize this story to help you become the best version of yourself so that when challenges come up for you, then you can overcome them. What's up, guys? My name is Nico Rapkless. Glad to have you if you're here new on the channel. As I mentioned, I made this post on Instagram after I contracted cancer, got it removed, had a Mohs procedure. And again, the response was quite a lot. I didn't really expect it. I also didn't necessarily think that it was that big of a deal, as interesting as that sounds. But I want to explain and expand on this because it's a cool story when I reflected on it. And I think there's some powerful lessons in it that I'll go over here. If you want to see this exact post, just comment IG down below and I'll send it over to you. But I want to expand on this, and I thought it was actually a really powerful experience. And again, never would I in a million years thought I would say, hey, I had cancer at 38 years old. That seems pretty young. But again, there was a lot of lessons embedded in this, and I even met a guy in the office that had half of his head off. Like he's had like 60 Mohs procedures, and he had brain cancer. It was quite wild to even see this, but I learned so many lessons from that as well that I'll impart on you guys here on this video. So how the heck did I even contract this? Where did this come from? Let's dive into this. So interestingly enough, it was quite I'd say like 6 months ago, which this all just happened in the last few weeks. You can kind of probably see it. I think it's on this side. So if you want to zoom in a little bit. So this all happened pretty recently, but it all started about, I would say like 6 months ago. And so what ended up happening is I scratched my face. I think I might have been in the shower, or maybe, I don't remember exactly how, but I distinctly scratched my face. And then it scabbed up a little bit, it bled a little bit, and then didn't think much about it. I mean, it was a scratch, right? And so then from there, I would shower, and then that scratch turned into a scab. And then when I would shower and I would wash my face, it would fall off, and then that cycle would repeat. And I didn't think about it. I was like, I didn't think twice about it at all. And so I wasn't going to put a Band-Aid on. I didn't even think to put any like ointment or aloe vera or anything like that. And this had just kind of kept going back and forth for quite some time. It was just a repeating pattern. I didn't really think too much about it, but after a while I was like, maybe this is kind of something I should deal with. And then it was this past summer, which it's still kind of summer. It's September 8th. I was out in Colorado for the 4th of July with my family, celebrating my grandmother's 95th birthday. She had like 100 people at her birthday party. She's a legend. But anyways, I asked my mom, I was like, what do you think about this? I started putting aloe vera on it, and it started just like kind of more like solidifying that scab. And then I was like, do you think I should put something else on it? Like, what do you think? And she's like, I think you need to go get that checked out, which was really interesting. I was actually at church probably like a month before that, and they had even been mentioning like, hey, take care of yourself. If you got little things that come up, make sure and go get them checked. But I was like, nah, that doesn't apply to me. So I disregarded that until my mom was like, yo, go get that checked. Mom's a legend as well. So I went and got it checked, and it was kind of inconvenient because I went to this doctor's office, a dermatologist. I don't have much time, and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm building stuff. Like, I don't have time to mess around with this stuff. And the office just took forever. My appointment at that allotted time, it was like, an hour after I had set the meeting that I finally got into the office, and the doctor actually came in. I was late for a meeting, an important meeting with somebody I recently had connected with from Australia. It was like the first time we were able to get in contact. I didn't want to cancel that meeting. So all this stuff, and I'm just like, I was literally about to cancel this meeting. And I was like, no, the appointment, I should say. And then I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'm already here. I'll just cancel the meeting. I'll figure out another way to finalize that. Doctor comes in. She comes in. She looks at it. She's like, oh, yeah, that's probably melanoma. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm 38, like, and that doesn't happen to me, right? And so she's like, yeah, we can do a biopsy. So we'll like freeze it and then take it off, the scab that is, and then we'll send it up in for a biopsy, and then we'll let you know what it is. And at the same time, like, what do you mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm like, just totally not into this at all. I was like, there's no way this is cancer. This can't be. So I just went on my day, didn't really think too much about it. I get a call from the doctor's office probably like a week and a half, 2 weeks later, somewhere around that, maybe a week. And they called, and I usually have my phone on do not disturb, or like, so like most people can't get through to me. And I don't even realize when people call me that aren't on my like contact list. And so then they called a couple more times, and they're like, hey, we want to schedule our Mohs procedure with you because it came back as basal cell melanoma. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like thinking about this more. And then me too, I'm like living life on the edge and not having health insurance because I'm just like, whatever. So realizing a lot of things through my process and figuring out like I need to step up and being a little bit more of an adult. But anyways, they said, yeah, come in. And then they gave me a quote for it. And I'm like, geez, I don't want to pay for that. And they're like, yeah, that's just the starting point. They thought it would be at like $1,500, and that was just a starting point, and it would probably be closer to like $3,000. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's a little scratch on my face. And I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, I don't even think that it's there. But then, obviously wanted to after I kind of sat myself down a little bit, like, all right, let's go check this out, get it done. And then, I was like not really excited about paying for this. And then I like called them and be like, hey, can you guys work anything else out? And so anyways, I go in, we get it done. And what was interesting, even before that, the night before, I just hired a new coach. She helps me with my energetics and really identifying patterns that have been holding me back for a little while and new patterns that have been coming up. It's really powerful. Her name's Natalie Hunter. She's amazing. She did what she calls energetic surgery on the night prior. Like these patterns that have been showing up, this energy that's been coursing through me for some time, we had to cut that out. And then after that, we ended up having a conversation. I was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm going to have this procedure tomorrow. She's like, oh wow, that's interesting. Like we're cutting out all these different things that are no longer serving you energetically, but also part of your flesh as well. So it was interesting because we also talked about how we did this energetic surgery, and then she's like, you'll probably have very little for them to even scratch off or like carve out, more so should I say. And so then I go in there and I told them, hey, it'd be great if you guys didn't gouge me with price here, and if there's any way that I could get this down even further. And they said it's all going to be dependent on how much they carve out of your face. So it's like how much they carve out, like it'll cost more. So if they do it, they go back, they analyze it, and they say, okay, it's good, then it'll be cheaper. But if they have to go back in and dig more of it out, it'll be more. And so it was all basically dependent on how much they chunked out of my face, right? So I just kind of like, prayed the night before, the day of, before I went into the office, and, along with the energetic surgery, I think this is all aligned. And then I had a great doctor, carved it out real quick. We had a great conversation. It was really quick. And then after that, I went into the office area, and that's where I was having a conversation with this guy, Steve. He had 60 biopsies throughout his entire life. He was like mid-80s. And then, like I said, he had half of his brain that was just removed from brain cancer. He taught me a lot of lessons about how, life just happens. And the more that you allow it, you let it be, it just happens. Like, so for you to be like stressing out about things, it doesn't help anything. Basically, that was kind of the message that I heard from him. And he was just like, just let life happen. And so anyways, I go back into the doctor's office, and then they're like, yeah, we're done. We're good. Let's just patch it up. Let's stitch it up. And then boom, I was out. And so then I came out, and then it was far less than what I had anticipated. It was just shy of $1,000. And it was because they barely carved anything out. And so I wanted to share that entire story, right? And just help you understand what that's all about. I think a few of the key lessons that I wanted to impart on you guys and just listening to this is that, just like they told me at church, is that if you got something going on, make sure and address it. It's far, like if I would have just addressed this so much earlier, probably wouldn't even had to have a surgery. I would have when I first got a scratch, it would have been good to like get some stuff on it, some ointment or whatever, some healing something on there, and like not allow it, because it was like the sun kept hitting it. I live in Arizona, so the sun kept hitting it. Probably didn't make matters better, in addition to the scab continuing to fall off, right? So address things early on. The next thing that I learned so much is like everything is energy, right? And that's why we are so passionate about what we do here at Vision Espresso. It's a tool to help your energetics so that you can really start getting clear and getting focused on the type of person that you really want to be, from a mindset but an energetic perspective. Because as you listen to your Vision Espresso, it's a deeply transformative tool to understand yourself on a core level, and then from there it helps you gain massive clarity on your vision and how you want to live intentionally throughout the rest of your life. And then from there it creates a custom audio from your future self that's in your voice that has emotional frequencies embedded into it. So the more you listen to it, the more your body feels it and your subconscious starts reprogramming towards that. Why do I share that? Because again, my coach did some energetic surgery on me, and everything is energy. Energy is energy is energy, right? Everything is energy. So she made mention of that. You probably won't even have to scoop anything out. Like it'll probably be a very little. She said that, and I was like, as soon as she said that, I was like, yeah, of course, that's exactly what's going to be happening, right? And so then the next day, what ends up happening, again, coming back to prayer and setting my intentions, setting prayers, asking for a successful surgery, setting those intentions. It was so powerful. And then what ends up happening is I feel like probably on some level, like my nervous system was a lot calmer. Energetically, I was a lot calmer going in there. Had a great doctor. He was very calming. He was very helpful. And then barely had to scratch any off. Then I had a great conversation with Steve, learning all this different perspective on life and how the less tight you hold on to life, the easier it becomes. Because if I would have been holding on to this stuff so much tighter, I'm like, oh my gosh, cancer, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know if that would have caused something more drastic. All I know is I took a little bit more of a relaxed approach and just trusted it. And again, based on the conversation I had with Steve, like, who knows? I don't know if all these things directly correlated and made it better, but I know that is exactly what happened, and this is what I experienced, and it was a generally positive experience. So I'm just giving you my process as I went through that, and then just allowing it a little bit more. And so I think with the clear intentions, getting your nervous system aligned, letting things go, and then really all that stuff really instills into your beliefs. And the more you tell yourself those type of stories, the more you tell yourself like everything's going to be good, and you really understand that on a core energetic level, the more things are good. And it's been a lesson that has taken me a long time to internalize more and more, but it's just so true. Like one of my earliest mentors always said that like life gets a lot easier when you live with a loose grip. He was talking about a tennis metaphor, and the more loose you can make that grip, the easier life becomes. And I couldn't agree more. And I'm becoming better at the practice of that rather than just saying that. And so and then coming back to like the prayer that I made before I went in, it just all comes down to intention. How do I want to show up here? Allow me to like really, be in a present, surrendered state, knowing that you're going to work everything through me. And that's exactly what happened. So I just want to really instill that message into you guys, because it's all about taking responsibility for your life. And that's what this channel is really all about, is taking responsibility. I know I talk about entrepreneurship a lot, and I'll continue to talk about that, but I look at us entrepreneurs as guys and gals that just take more responsibility than, relying on someone else to, give you a paycheck. Not that anything's bad with that, but I just resonate with people that take deep responsibility for their life, for their well-being, and the well-being of the people around them. And that's the mission that I'm on. I want to, our vision with Vision Espresso, people always ask us that what's the vision? And the vision is to raise global consciousness and to help entrepreneurs become more powerful individuals and being the best version of themselves. That's what this is all about. And that's the type of people that I want to continue to attract in my life and serve and help them, and also learn from you guys just as much. So when you guys leave comments down below and let me know what you got out of this message, it helps me a lot. So then I know what other types of content to make and what's resonating, what's not resonating, and I can continue to make this channel a really powerful channel, because we're going to continue to update a lot and make a lot more videos, because I've got a flow now. I know how I want to make my videos. It's a lot more simple and easy, so that allows me to produce a lot more content and just document and share my journey and show you guys exactly what's going on and what's happening with me, what's happening with clients, colleagues, friends, like just sharing my full experience. And that's the whole point of this channel, is I want to like fully express while growing this thing in a very big way. So I'm excited on this journey, and I trust that you are as well. So what I always do at the end of these is put down either a coffee emoji or a tree emoji. You guys are my trees that stick around all the way to the end. So show it off. Let me know who's here. Really excited for anyone that is still here listening to this message and helping us refine this message so that we can continue to put out the best content and help you guys the most. So I appreciate you guys. If you guys want to go check out Vision Espresso, go to visionespresso.co. There's a link down in the video description. But I appreciate you guys. And again, if you want to check out this Instagram post, just comment IG and we'll send it your way. Appreciate y'all. Talk soon.